All right. All bets are in.
Faye, now you hang in there. What?
Just been shot, you lemon!
She took my gun. How'd she do
like
that?
I feel like you could have phrased that better, Cheetah.
Why did you do that, Ellie?
There is no Ellie.
Only
Ellie,
Miang.
what happened to you? How could you?
Don't tell
I dyed
me
my hair, now I'm a bad
she's
bitch.
been brainwashed.
It has nothing.
Oh my god, you've literally been stabbed, my dude.
You wanna know the answer?
The majority of my body is comprised of a nano.
Oh!
Not only for longevity, but also to unify with the mother. So don't be surprised. This much damage can be recovered right quick.
You cannot.
I'm just gonna
hurt
walk
me,
it off.
Jack.
Unify with the mother?
Hold on, it's still important. Though.
That girl, Am, is our mother.
What?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Yes, I am the mother of all humans.
This is awkward.
So,
Yeah, a little
Ellie,
bit, huh?
So, Ellie, you dyed your hair.
Ellie, you made out with your son!
Ellie.
And shot him! What are you babbling on about? Snap out of it, Ellie!
You're as dense as usual, but I don't blame you.
Look, I know for a fact you are not my mother, because if you were, that just raises way too many questions.
Alright.
So be it. I will explain to you all about it.
Let's just sit here while Faye got shot.
Because finally we're about to get some answer. Go ahead.
This Deus, the one you call God, is an interplanetary invasion weapon system that was built in ancient times by humans from another planet.
By the way, Faye, just holding your guts there for a bit. We have to listen to this.
Yeah, can you die a bit slower?
My best.
On.
It was created as an automatic weapon, which could act upon its own will to take control of a targeted planet. But you should have known this much from looking at the Raziel records.
Yeah. To be fair, we don't know the player, so well, thanks for reminding us.
Anyway, during a test run, Deus became uncontrollable. It released its power and annihilated the whole planet.
Jesus.
Uh-huh. And let me guess, you are Deus.
The creators of Deus found its immeasurable power to be too much of a threat and hence forcibly shut it down.
Kinda makes sense if it killed an entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
In order to analyze the cause of the problem, its core was dismantled and placed on an interplanetary emigrant passenger ship to be transported to another planet.
A simple routine flight.
But something went wrong.
Becoming aware of this, the dismantled Deus resisted. It tried to take over the passenger ship that was transporting it.
And we saw what happened in the beginning FMV.
However, as a last line of defense against the escape of Deus, its creators unexpectedly destroyed the whole ship, sending it crashing to this planet.
And that was what we saw in the opening. I was right!
Yeah, no one survived on that.
Nobody
Except
can
for
escape
one
God.
odd naked woman.
And the Deus itself, as it showcases here.
Deus knew that it would not be able to get away from the explosion or the imminent impact, and so it detached its core from the Zohar power reactor.
Essentially, the one thing that gave it proper energy. So hard.
Oh, suck it up, Faye.
Yes, Zohar. It is what drives all of the gears on this planet.
Yeah. Apparently, there is a unifying energy source that allows essentially gears to function the way they do.
So, like Mako?
Kinda.
It is the master generator that transmits its energy to the slave generators in our gears.
So what you're saying is that this is all essentially just leftovers from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It is also the source of all the ether power that the inhabitants of this planet utilize.
Essentially, magic and gears are allowed to exist thanks to one single engine that exists somewhere here on the planet.
By utilizing the energy displacements caused by actualizing potential future phenomenon.
Okay, I know it sounds like techno-level, but trust me, it's not.
No,
There is a
I'm
logic
following
behind
this.
This Zohar modifier has the ability to produce infinite amounts of energy.
Which is what helped humans to grow back. The source of all our ether power.
Are you saying all our energy comes from that one power reactor or engine?
Yes, but there is more.
Okay then. Hang on a bit further, Faye.
Sure.
The core that was detached from Zohar, the biological computer Kadomini,
Yes.
crashed onto this primitive planet. It activated Persona, its life support plant, that can generate organic material.
Persona slash.
Don't you mean
Dash.
Persona Dash?
Is it dash? Okay.
Persona Dash, that should be a new iOS
Slashes are
racing
the long
game.
diagonal lines.
Using this, it prepared for itself a genetic-based system for the day when Deus would be resurrected.
And that was Miang, wasn't it?
Thus, the first humans were created from there. Emperor Cain and the elders of the Gazelle Ministry.
Yeah, that's
Wait
our
a
first
minute,
bomb,
wait a
but
minute.
Every single human being on this planet is just a biological puppet created by Deus.
So wait. So a recollection and a reveal that the bad guy is a mother figure. Huh, I wonder if Richard had deja vu when he was localizing this in Final Fantasy VIII.
Do you know why the Gazelle Ministry
Desired.
desired the anima relics and your bodies? Well, here's the reason.
Also, yes, Rico had a line.
I had a line.
We're proud of that line. Before becoming human, the bodies of the Ministry were once part of the organic elements in the core circuit that made up Deus.
That's why
As we
they
have seen
referred
in
to
the previous
Miang
part.
as their mother.
There were two types of organic elements. The female type was called anima, and the male type was called animus.
Don't.
You know, this episode, the premise of How I Met Your Mother is really weird.
No, don't tell me. There was also a component called Adam and a component.
episode, though.
There was also a component called Adam and a component called Eve, wasn't there? And Cain probably had a brother called Abel at some point.
They were also created with machinery that was suited for use as terminal interface weapons for Deus.
Essentially, an excuse to have gears being developed.
In other words, those Omni gears you were using were one form of such weapon. Don't you mean one's formed of such weapons?
How fascinating.
The Ministry, which were Animus, were to become one again with their separated anima at the time of the resurrection of God.
So
I say,
humans
Faye,
create.
this-
Wait a minute. Humans created by an AI. Oh God,
Hold
this
on.
is.
But in a war 500 years ago, they all lost their physical bodies.
And they became the Soul 9000.
The floating heads.
Yeah.
They don't shut up.
Gotta say, the prototype for Prometheus is looking rather strange now.
It was then that they decided to extract their own genetic factor from certain individuals of their human descendants who carried the appropriate sets of DNA. Why?
Go on.
Okay. DNA doesn't usually have the points in between it. Okay, whatever, Richard.
It is an acronym, though.
No, it is, yes. Also, each of them could become one with their whatever.
Again.
Descendants?
Oh god, that movie was
Yeah,
terrible!
it's not a very good franchise.
Then we're all...
Fucked. Yes.
Yes, you humans are all descendants of Cain and the Gazelle Ministry.
That's
Do me well, my
very
children!
fucked up.
Do me well!
You're all related. Congratulations.
Oh god, no! That means when Faye and Ellie did the horizontal hokey pokey, that was incest?
The what? Sorry.
The horizontal hokey pokey.
They were born from the persona, gave birth, and
Oh.
Propagate.
I thought
There
you
we
said
go.
gave birth and apologized.
I'm sorry, you have a child now. They followed their inbuilt program to someday resurrect the heavily damaged Deus.
All the people in the world were created solely to resurrect Deus.
I'm
God,
with-
Faye, are you listening to this?
I'm legit
I'm
surprised.
dying here!
I'm legit surprised Cheetan didn't magically know this.
Yes, but it wasn't just to restore its old body. Wow, Shitan doesn't know something.
Yeah, Cheetan still has its limits, so he did not like age
Yeah.
the nanomachines like
I-
Krelian.
That's
But,
what. Don't you see? Don't you see? That's what we have Krelian for, because Krelian takes the whole "I plan for this in advance" thing to the new maximum.
More than half of Deus is constructed of biological parts. Do you remember those mutated humans?
They were made from Windows Vista.
Those are all people who were destined to become
Windows.
replacement parts for Deus.
See, I
Windows
told you guys.
XP.
See, I told you guys I have my limits. You didn't believe me, but I was speaking the truth.
We humans, pots for God?
Yes, almost all the people are destined to become parts of Deus. For Deus.
That's an interesting system update patch.
Mm-hmm.
But you people gathered here are all different. You see, this is what kind of shit you get into when you don't read the terms of service.
This is
You could say you escaped that destiny by existing through multiple generations.
We're incompatible
Essentially-
with the old system parts now.
diluted DNA in a way.
In actuality, there wasn't enough parts for Deus, but Krelian compensated for what was lacking.
Because
If you
he's just
recall,
built differently.
Not just that, remember the nanomachines that we found whatever.
The reduction in the number of parts was due to humans living through multiple generations.
Essentially, the more things went on, the more Deus realized that the AI would be too diluted, as it's such not really usable.
But that deficiency in the human factor was made up for by the nanomachines created by Krelian.
Who
And if you
himself is
remember-
apparently made up of nanomachines.
With the stuff extracted from Emeralda, he gained a huge boost with that.
Not only that, but his nanomachines added additional functions.
That was literally all Emeralda was, a stop pickup drop for nanomachines.
Deus has thus evolved into the perfect weapon.
To surpass
Hooray.
Metal Gear.
Ellie, what has happened? Why do you know all that?
God, someone get me to the hospital.
I am Miang, the Keeper of Time, the representative of our god Deus.
Called it, she is Deus.
Yeah, Miang is more than just a person. It's like
A living
specter, call it.
virus, would you say?
She's about to explain.
I was born to guide the people towards the path of the resurrection of Deus.
Essentially, since Deus cannot actually move autonomously, he needed an agent. And Yang is the perfect candidate for a simple reason.
That's ridiculous. Myung was just...
You are limited in your ability to understand.
Sure. Just talk down to me like I'm your kid. Oh wait, that's right, you're apparently our
I
mother.
am standing on a platform above you. I am looking down to you.
Not
I'm
just
talking
that,
down to you.
Hold on.
Myung's factor exists within all women.
Ew!
Oh, there you go. Little did you know, Shiro, that you have Miang inside you.
Here's
There
some
you go.
paranoia for you.
And what?
Hold on.
The one who transcends the generations. The caretaker of humans.
And at
Worst
any moment,
mother ever.
Yeah, hold on.
When the previous one dies, somewhere another Miang is awakened.
And it can be literally anyone. Sleep tight.
I don't want to sleep. It is programmed into all women's DNA to be that way.
There you go. There you go,
Wait, so
Shiro.
what are you?
You have
Why?
Miang swimming in the DNA there somewhere.
It's like
No,
a
it's
genetic
gross.
factor that can be activated by the
Get it
command.
out! Get it out!
Is this like Bowser's inside story, but it's Miang, just
But
like...
it's all just a matter of probability, and it just happened to be Ellie.
How convenient.
Who inherits the duty is just a matter of probability, Faye. The Miang over there and I are the same existence. We are all parts of Deus, all caretakers of humans.
So who
Is
was
it
that?
like is it like in Yokai Watch where they're picking someone to die and they're rolling what is essentially one of those lottery things?
Yeah,
Kinda.
probably.
So that just begs the question: who was the woman that Miang was possessing before Ellie?
We don't know.
Let us end this discussion now. Deus has awakened.
But I
That
wanted
gave
to
me just enough time to stall.
Yeah.
I am one of the parts that composes Deus. Hence, I must become one with it.
So was I right? She was the naked purple-haired woman at the
Hey.
start of the game.
Why did it have to be you? If Miang is a part for Deus, why did it not happen earlier? It's still not enough for her just to have awakened.
There's just a few more steps.
Although she may be Miang, she still isn't the true Miang. The true Miang?
Let's go, Krelian.
No. Was there anything else you wanted to maybe explain elaborately to us?
All that is left to do is to vanquish this planet's civilization and return it to how it was.
Why? I live here. You don't need to bomb it. You could just.
I mean, I can
leave.
move someone else. That's like not my
Again.
problem. Then I can complete my unification with the final fragment of Deus, the Zoha modifier.
Look, I said it
Again,
before, and I'll say it
Jova,
again,
it
Miang.
might be more intelligent, but Deus is still a machine.
Again, worst mother ever.
The power reactor that fell upon this planet and become our genesis. And now, our apocalypse, I guess. Woo.
Yeah.
So is Deus just basically Brainiac?
Kinda.
The eradication of civilization? What is the purpose of doing that?
I mean,
More
you were
for
all
the
going to end up causing it
More for the
anyway.
end of a power edge.
Who knows? The creation of God will someday be a hindrance. Creations of God. I mean, that's a completely different sentence with how I worded it. That is why they must be eliminated. I am just programmed to act in this way.
Wow, so you're still kind of a basic B in that regard.
This is all a simulation, and free will is a lie.
Basically.
Okay, Marina.
Exactly.
It is time for the awakening of the true mother.
Please, wait. Help me.
Farewell, Faye. May you have a peaceful awakening.
Oh.
Don't I get a say in any of this?
He's about to die.
Okay, let's just watch them do this.
Yeah, they don't really have much of a choice.
They're still trying to process all this. I
And with
think.
that, Deus finally awakens.
God, that thing is hideous.
It's like a cocoon with
Got
eyes.
his eyes on you.
Yeah, the eyes are what's hideous specifically.
Well, shoot. But wait, hold on. If Faye's dying, who's gonna give us the narration for the story then?
Shitan.
We have plenty of party members left.
Okay,
Okay.
Choo-Choo then.
Okay then, so Faye's dead, so Bart, Cheeton, it's time for you guys to tell the story.
So now you want me to talk. I mean,
Yes.
What the?
wait! Faye, do not release the system!
Cheeton, wait! We are only endangering ourselves. Let's get out of here for now.
Jeez, Faye, you act like you just got shot or something.
You'd think you were jumping into the live stream or something.
He tried to, but alas. With that, Merkava starts activating as the new house of Deus. Floating a bit, at least.
So, story time? Oh.
And the first thing that he does is to fire a giant big fuck you laser to part of the world.
Again! Terrible mother that you are!
So, since
Oh,
Phase
son
of
of a...
is closed,
It
Cheetah
is
is up.
Cheetah.
Yeah, it is Sheetan.
Okay then. Okay, God, the interplanetary invasion weapon Deus had awakened its arc, Merkava. Deus began to absorb, one after the other, the mutated people, destined to be its parts, while the non-mutated would eventually only become a threat to it, to exterminate us and our civilization. It set into action.
So basically, it's like a twisted version of the Rapture.
Kinda.
The planet's surface was devastated, but Merkava and the weapons born from out of it, called the Seraph Angels.
An entire storm of them.
So what do we do now?
That's a good question.
While pursuing the newly awakened Deus, we chanced upon Faye, whose whereabouts had later been lost, along with his gear with Heltal, discovered together as the place where Merkava was originally located.
He was alive, miraculously.
Mm-hmm.
We were overjoyed by Faye's return, but it was short-lived. For some unknown reason, Faye was found in a state of suspended animation. He did not regain consciousness.
Another coma for this guy? Man, Faye spends a good deal unconscious.
Kinda like Cloud.
Yes.
The people of Shevat and we ourselves feared a relapse of Eid's power, and had no choice but to put Faye into carbonite freeze. Well, I saw it on Star Wars, so it looked cool, okay? So.
Basically.
Well, at least the sky
It's
looks nice, so we have
Final
that.
Frontier.
And now for our pantomime sequence, Cheetan is gonna talk a bit with Queen Zephyr.
Alright then.
Your Majesty, why do the people of Shevat fear Faye so much? Even if Graf and Eid's power are comparable.
It is not that we fear him. We fear the error we ourselves committed, and now we are simply trying to put a lid on it.
The error that you yourselves committed?
Shevat instigated a battle 500 years ago to gain our independence from Solaris. However, we became overcome with the lust for power, fearing the war-torn people's will would no longer be with Shevat, but with the Nissan Mother, damn their car insurance, and that the people would assemble under Sophia. The Council of Elders of Shevat, back then, made a deal with Solaris.
You?
Yes. At the time, Solaris, or the Gazelle Ministry to be exact, were at odds with a woman who held the real power behind the scenes.
The Miang of that time.
Would that happen to have been Miang?
Most probably it was, though she went by a different name back then. Fearing the increasing...
Is this me? Oh, sorry. Hold on.
No, go ahead, Joe.
Fearing the increasing power of the masses assembling in Nissan, the Gazelle Ministry schemed to hand over to us their antagonist, Miang, and promised a division of the remainder of the Earth to us. But in exchange, we had to give them the rebel army that had assembled in Nissan, and also their patron Sophia. The leaders of Shevat accepted, and it was decided that Nissan would be the location of the final decisive battle with Solaris. Shevat did not participate in that battle.
They literally sold the rebellion out.
Thwarted by the awesome number of the Solarian army, and with their path of retreat cut off, the Nissan rebel army ran out of options and was destroyed. Should have been were destroyed, but whatever. Caught up in the middle of all this was a Khan, Bart's ancestor Ronnie, myself, and Krelian.
You were also there. I'm concerned for the awesome wording. It doesn't fit in this context.
It can actually be used in that
Technically,
context,
it
but
can
it
be
isn't
used in
particularly
that-
common.
Okay, to be fair, it can actually be used in that context. Like, believe it or not, even the Bible uses the word awesome. It's just that awesome tends to be... you tend to associate that with more, less formal bouts of phrases these days, so I can see how that would raise an eyebrow.
Anyway, the Queen Zephyr mentioned that Sophia used herself as with a kamikaze attack for inspiring the rest of the troops by piloting the flagship, in a suicidal bombing.
And could this be why Shevat decided to atone?
And the entire reason, the fact that they just retreated and, saw the rest of the rebellion die this horribly, with even Sophia becoming a martyr. Again, dick move. In exchange, they did add the Miang of the time in custody, so there is that.
But obviously something went wrong there because Miang's out doing her thing, being a terrible
in general,
mother.
they did not know when she died, another one popped out.
Thanks to Sophia's sacrifice, we were able to survive. However, her death forever changed the fate of 2 men. Krelian, who followed closely under her as the leader of the Nissan 6 militia, completely lost faith after calling out to a god that would not respond.
Go ahead, Pedro.
I will create God with my own hands!
Were the last words he uttered before he disappeared, and went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just a bit.
Well, he found a hobby at least. And
He literally just said that he wanted to create God. How much more cuckoo can you get?
And Lacan, he resented himself for not having the power to do anything while she died in front of him. And so he went for a legendary power.
Legendary power?
Yes, God's resting place, Mahanon, a source of divine wisdom, Raziel, and the animal relics, which were created by that very wisdom. Besides these, there is one more legend. Why am I getting Power Rangers Wild Force vibes?
Okay.
And that is?
Zahar.
Zohar.
Why did you say that?
That has the same name as the Zohar modifier. The power reactor that Miang spoke of, saying it was the infinite energy source of God, Theos. It's actually Zophar.net, Cheeton. What she claimed is also the source of our ether powers and the driving force of all our years.
It would have to be one and the same thing. It is the place that contains the ultimate source of this world's power. It is said that only he who has the correct destiny would be able to discover its location. Losing all faith in humanity, Lacan sought after its power. Lacan became Graf, and the world collapsed.
This is also why Graf is disgustingly overpowered. He's literally imbued with that.
Boy, this queen sure has all the answers that may have come in handy a bit a while ago. And now Faye, the one who has the same power as Graf. We just wanted to seal up that dreadful power that arose from our own sinful deeds.
It also explains why Ed is so powerful. Being essentially a prisoner from Graf, he was exposed to that same power.
So that makes you wonder, is Graf like Faye's father and Faye just inherited the power from his genes?
We will learn more about Graf as well. Again, this is not the only part with explanation in it.
Graf, the man who once known as Lacan, sought after the power of Zohar, the one who has the same power as Graf, Faye. I had this premonition that Faye too would awaken and seek out that power.
Of course you did!
And that presentiment became... Well, it was only a premonition.
Yeah, in this case, Cheetan was not sure. I did not want to, assume.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That being said, I do remember how, I think it was in part 2 where you compared Graf to Darth Vader, which really is starting to make me think that... Part 4. And it really is starting to make me think that Graf is actually Faye's dad. I mean, honestly...
he's just a Palpatine.
I mean, look, given how Faye's mother turned out to be, would you be surprised if Graf turns out to be Faye's father, despite how he treats him?
I'm posting in the meantime the artwork of the day, which are a concept art, a chibi concept art for Mother Sophia, which I guess we mentioned those resemble Ellie, and a more proper, almost finished art of the Miang possessed Ellie. But while we're at it, to answer what Deji said, again, it's kind of easy on that front. Deus, despite everything, is still a machine. So that's our first major bombshell. Everything in this alien world, every human being in a civilization, was just a glorified eugenic social experiment by a rogue AI that wanted nothing more than a source of power to be reawakened in the future.
And literally all humans here are just the leftovers from the actual planet Earth because they were emigrating, but then Deus had to go screw things up, and I'm guessing Deus is essentially... Oh god. This is like Sephiroth's plan, where Deus wants to become God, but it's also taking a cue from Advent Children, and it wants to essentially ride the planet like a ship so it can just go and destroy other things. That said...
Basically.
Yeah.
We still don't know everything yet, though.
I will say this, though. Miang, if you're really our mother, then you have a hell ton of child support to be paying.
Again, the term of mother is thrown a bit loosely, but it will become more apparent in two parts at most, because instead, in the next one, we will actually instead have almost an entire part dedicated to showcasing to us, without actually a pantomime, with a proper set of cutscenes, what happened to that rebellion of 500 years ago, and the destiny that awaited Krelian, the ancestors of Bart and Margie, and also Lacan, who will become Graf.
I just have two things to point out. That's the thing, Sho. I remember this is the same translator who in Final Fantasy VIII, that line that you read as Renoa, did an acronym with the words with the letters of the word lion, but there were no periods in between each letter for whatever reason. So I guess Richard had as a problem with acronyms somehow. I don't know. Second, mid parts, I got up myself real quick and decided to show Miang's artwork to Vanessa and ask her, and she has confirmed that, according to her, there are worse women she can think of having inside her than Miang. So there is that. So it's not too bad apparently.
Well, I mean, appearance-wise, it's one thing, but Miang is despicable to the core in terms of personality. And trust me, we haven't seen the last of how terrible she can be.
I will say this, though. Going off of this artwork, it seems that Miang possessing a woman not only changes their hair color, but the outfit color as well?
The outfit was something that Krelian had given to Ellie before, and if you notice, the sprite was also kind of slightly different when she was crucified.
So do we ever figure out how they planned that Miang would get into Ellie if it turns out that it's literally kind of a random crapshoot?
It is a random crapshoot, but let's just say that, again, there's another information we do not know that concerns Ellie, which, again, is something we will learn in a couple of parts from now, actually. So stay tuned for that, because, like I said, next time, instead, we're having a flashback dedicated to the rebellion of Nissan and Shevat 500, the truth about 500 years ago.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
See ya.